We're at 5049 Bluebell Avenue, Valley Village, California, performing a video sewer inspection due to the 3-inch plastic ABS mainline cleanout on the side of the garage. And we have run from the mainline cleanout, and this is the turn going into the city sewer. And I don't believe that we can get into it. We're going to try. But from what it looks like, it's pretty well compacted with roots and debris and broken. I can see broken clay right here. And this line is pretty well packed. You can see it. You've got somewhere about 85 to 90% probably compacted right here. I'm going to try and push through here, but I don't believe that I can. And this is at the tie-in, this is at the sweep and the Y connection to the city sewer. So we're going to try and see if we can push through. That line is just compacted. It's broken and it's compacted. And we're not going to push through and get into the city sewer. I'm going to try and run a little tiny bit of water and see where it goes. Okay, we've got the hose on right now. And right now we are out 163 feet to that turn to the city sewer in the middle of the street. Right there is 163 feet. And we're going to zero it out on our camera once we begin pulling back. And you'll be able to see that we were 163 feet out. We had a hard time getting into the line. We've run all the way down. We're at this turn. We do have water seeping through here, but it's in terrible condition. You can see up at right about probably the 10 o'clock area where you see the orange right around the edge of the piping. And that's a broken piece right there. It's actually broken clay that we're seeing. So this area is broken and definitely will need to be excavated and repaired. We will take a look at the rest of the line when we pull back. We're going to shut the water off right now because the water is going around that turn and it's seeping through. But if we get paper and we get solids going through there, more than likely we're going to end up with stoppages. It's going to get compacted on this cluster of roots and debris that's in here now, and we're not going to be able to keep this thing open. So we're going to shut the water off and then we'll begin pulling back. So we're going to zero out our camera and we're going to begin pulling back and taking a look at the rest of the line. We'll zero it out. We will begin pulling back. Go back in a little bit. Go back into this first joint. This first joint doesn't look bad. We don't have any cracks or breaks in that first joint. We just have the problem down in the sweep into that Y transition. That's the joint down there right before it drops into the city sewer. begin pulling back now. We'll take a look at this 6-inch vitreous clay lateral. That joint looks to be in pretty good condition right there. That joint looks like it's got a minor offset to it. Just very tiny bit, if anything. Just a little bit at the top, but not terrible. There's no root intrusion, there's no break in the joint. That joint has a little bit of an offset to it, but not terrible again. No major root intrusions, no major breaks, no major separations, just a small offset. That joint looks to be in good condition. That joint looks good. That joint looks to be in pretty good condition. Should have about a 30 to 35 foot 6-inch vitreous clay lateral. Then we'll transition back to ABS plastic. That joint's got some offset to it, but again, not terrible. No major breaks, no major root intrusions. Okay, now we're transitioning right here. We're coming up. We have a little offset at that joint. No, that joint looks good. We're coming up the stack, so it's pretty steep. And then we transition to our ABS plastic right here. In the joint, but I don't see any issues, no roots, no break. That joint looks good. Maybe a little bit of overpour of glue. Sometimes sure that they don't have a problem with the joint and it won't harm anything. That joint looks good. Now we're pulling back. We have longer lengths of pipe. We have a little tiny bit of a belly right here where it's holding a little tiny bit of water, but that's a long line and it is ABS plastic, so I don't believe that it's going to harm anything. This doesn't have the grade in the fall that it probably should have, a 1/4 inch per foot of fall. Maybe doesn't have that much. Tiny hump right here. That looks like glue again. The joint looks to be okay though. Piping looks to be okay. Don't see any issues here, any stoppage problems or any future issues in this piping. Joints look good, making a turn. Moment. Pulling back. Well, this piping looks good. That joint looks good. ABS plastic. It's few and far between breaks and issues in the plastic. We do get them periodically, trees and tree roots just buckling and breaking the pipe, but it's not often. Those joints look good. A couple turns. Now we're heading back toward the side of the garage. Those joints look good. Those joints look good. A little bit of separation in that ABS joint. An issue right there. I don't see any breaks. Okay. We will blow it up on our camera monitor, on our laptop once we download the video, and we'll be able to blow it up and take a little bit better look at it. Kind of hard to see sometimes on the camera monitor compared to the laptop. Still pretty clear. Those joints look good. 150 feet. Should be coming back to our mainline cleanout now. And we're right at about 161, 162 feet. Sometimes you get a little bit different, but we're right in the range. Concludes our video sewer inspection for the time being.